Me and Jake running down the street with a handful of comic books, kicking ass and banging chicks and drinking booze
No, not
and
me.
smoking weed.
Me. I'm married.
Yeah, well,
I'm married.
Jake.
Can't do that.
Yeah. Off panel, off topic with Jake and Tyler.
All right, everybody.
Wolfman Jack and Tyler Allen and Jake.
Hey.
What?
It's Wolfman Jake.
Oh.
You silly man.
So then what's my
Try not to
moniker?
swear.
Yeah, me too.
At least in the first, I don't know.
This is the third time we've done this.
Fuck it, we're past 30 seconds.
Okay. So what's my is it
I'm sorry.
Two-Tone Tyler? Yeah, it's Two-Tone Tyler. I play only ska records.
I'm serious. You know, we swear too much on this show.
Check it up. Check it up. Check it up.
That's fun.
It's time for Two-Tone Tyler and the Ska Hour of Power. Nothing but horns and punk drums. Ska.
All right. This is episode 194.
Yep. Gonna get a lot of letters on that one. I am a ska fan, and you say that it is only horns and punk drums. It is so much more. It is a culture. I'm so sorry about what I said about ska. Sorry.
I don't even quite. I'm gonna be quite honest with everyone. I don't know how that just happened.
What do you mean? That's the letter we're gonna get. Is some guy in the East Village
Ska
downtown.
is never dead.
Listen, man.
Ska. What? We'll get back to you later, Stone Cold.
Yeah, you fucker.
We are. Sometimes we have a more relaxed episode. Well, this one we got a full diaper.
We gotta go. Somebody's got to take.
Oh, I started with Wolfman Jake, and then I went full diaper. What are we, a morning zoo? Full diaper. Brilliant. Yeah.
We need to have fart noises.
Yeah. You know.
Haven't I sent you my fart noises?
Now this is the plan. Get your ass to Mars.
I don't like that one as much. I just like the get your ass to Mars. Do you have that one still?
Boring!
Anyway, let's...
That's an off-panel, off-topic, off-air topic.
Wow. So, yeah, we got a jam-packed episode. 2 episodes of Daredevil to talk about.
3! Fucking comic books.
Yes, and we got some news related to Avengers Doomsday and Stan Lee. So we got some stuff to talk about. Some juicy things to talk about. Tyler, without further ado, let's get into it. Daredevil, Born Again, episodes 5 and 6.
Yeah.
So I texted you because I watched it this morning.
Both of them?
I watched both episodes back to back.
When? You had to work. Spoiler alert, Jake got fired today. Not really.
Way to just out me.
I'm going
to have to edit this
I was trying to make sure my wife didn't know, but now she
Where
does.
did you work at, a specific employer? Weren't you supposed to be working from that time to that time? You fuck. All right, so...
Gonna bleep that fucker out.
Oh, you know it.
This is why you don't tell anybody where you work that you have a podcast until you make money from it.
I never said anything about it. Now they know. I'm just kidding.
You shouldn't.
By the way, we made some changes.
I try very hard
the
not
studio.
to tell anybody at the radio station I work at that I have a podcast. God. Oh, can I listen to it?
No.
I'd rather you didn't.
Unless you get a
lot of dick jokes.
Unless you get really cool with a lot of stuff real quick. Anyway, my dog's spazzing out back there.
I'm spazzing out. Something just leapt off of the... Okay.
That was Jesus.
That was Jesus.
Calling to you, son. Anyway.
Calling to you, son. Do you have a sandwich for me?
We might have to pause for a minute.
Okay.
My dog might knock over everything.
Well, okay.
So, anyway. Daredevil, episodes 5 and 6.
Yes.
I watched them back to back. I texted you if you had asked if you had seen it. You said you hadn't seen 6 yet.
But I was right about... I was just finishing breakfast. I was just finishing making breakfast, and I ate breakfast while I watched episode 6.
I loved these 2 episodes. I'll say it up front. I'll say it from Jump Street. I enjoyed them a lot.
So, I want to say something real quick.
You were like, I have some thoughts. And then that started a meme war between us.
Yeah. Well, the reason why I thought it was funny is because I knew how to get a rise out of you, which was all I have to do is be cagey and not say whether I like it or not.
Be very vague about something.
I have some thoughts.
I have thoughts. Yeah, everybody has fucking thoughts,
As
Tyler.
soon as Jake hears me or reads me saying I have some thoughts, his immediate reaction, I guarantee, is, "Oh, fucking great! Here comes Tyler with his fucking. Oh, it's Tyler. I'm Tyler with a big fucking
I
beard."
literally sent him an emoji.
That's exactly what. Yeah.
A photo, like those like sticker emoji things
Okay.
of me with my
Yeah.
hand in my heads,
Okay.
my head in my hands, because I was
Yeah.
just like, this fucking guy.
I know.
Because I also knew that we were recording the podcast, so you're being cagey on purpose
Well,
and being like,
yes.
well, I want to talk about it on the show.
Spoiler alert. I watched episode 5, which featured Yusuf Khan, dad of Kamala Khan. And while I'm watching
Matt
it,
is trying to get a bank loan for the the
you know what
law
happens. You
firm.
watched it.
What's the thing we agreed on that was for the spoilers?
I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, well,
I got what I paid for.
There you go.
You're getting
Fucking-
spoilers.
You're getting spoiled, motherfucker. No, and I'm sitting there, and I can't help but be meta about a lot of stuff. While I'm watching any particular episode or whatever, if something happens that I know is going to be called out as one thing or another, I immediately start thinking about that and instead of watching the show, instead of paying attention to the show. So, of course, while I'm watching that first episode, I think Tuesday night,
episode 5, yeah.
yes, the whole time, anytime he's on the screen, I'm just like, oh, I can't wait for, I can't wait for the purists to be like, why the fuck is da-da-da-da-da and blah-blah-blah-blah-blah. And let me just say this right now. If we're treating these like comic books, which we fucking should,
Yes.
I dropped the fucking hammer on the show last week.
Yes.
On Daredevil Born Again, because I was like, what do we fucking do? Okay, now look, what they're trying to do is they're trying to do exactly what I was complaining about last week.
Yeah.
And that was, what are they doing about Daredevil in the MCU, quote unquote?
Funny enough.
And here's how we're doing it. And also,
What-
these types of interactions between like a civilian alter ego and another civilian who's connected to a superhero in the comics, these happen in the comics all the time. And nobody fucking complains about them when they're in the comics. But because it's a TV show that people on the alt-right fucking scale of the comic book, conversation, because I know they're watching it, I know that they're having issues. I don't know if they have or not. I don't give a shit, because here's the thing. I have completely come around on this show because how are we looking at the show? What are we doing? I kept asking last week. What are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Well,
the question should be, Tyler, I'm almost done. Trust me. The question should be, Tyler, what are you doing watching the show? Are you watching it to complain about it, or are
Right.
you watching it to enjoy it? And I decided halfway through that episode, because about halfway through, I'm still trying to figure out, is this good? Is this bad? And that's when I realized, who fucking cares? Am I watching it to enjoy it, or am I watching it to critique it?
Yeah.
And the bottom line is, I'm watching it to enjoy it. That's why I watch all the MCU shit. Good, bad, indifferent. The Marvel shit before there was an MCU. Good, bad, indifferent. Why? Because it's fucking, even Ben Affleck's shitty fucking Daredevil movie was still fucking Daredevil on the fucking big screen. Same thing with Green Lantern and Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
It was fucking Green Lantern. Yes, it was terrible.
I will contend that movie.
Don't say that it deserves.
No.
Okay, good.
I'm saying
'Cause it doesn't.
No, honestly, the first half of that movie isn't bad. Like the first act into the second act aren't that terrible. It's when he comes back to Earth, like when he's on Oa and doing all the things on Oa, it's kind of fun and enjoyable and just all
Yeah,
this stuff.
CGI is pretty.
Yeah, but it was cool to see Oa and
course.
Kilowog
Yeah,
and like, all this shit.
Michael Clark Duncan
Yeah.
again, who was also in
And
Daredevil.
Mark Strong, greatest Sinestro. It
Fucking
was fun.
great, dude. Mark Strong is a
The
great guy.
second
Great
Hal,
villain.
the second Hal Jordan comes back to Earth, that movie goes downhill fast. Including
Anyway.
one part where we're not talking about that. We're talking about Daredevil.
Right, but the point is like I keep
There's
I
we've
keep
always
for-
talked about this.
I
There's a
keep
little bias
forgetting
to
to
this,
tell
yeah.
myself that I'm enjoying this because I want to, because this is the stuff that I enjoy. And if I don't, then I'm not going to watch it.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to be like, hey, well, we're not going to be able to review it anymore because I've decided not to watch it.
Well,
Because why would I not watch it? And that's when I realized, I'm like, this is fine and this is good. And in fact, I enjoy it. and I'm okay with this character being in here, knowing that, I mean, we have also the swordsman in the next episode from fucking Hawkeye, from Kate Bishop.
I got really
right?
excited about that. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I mean, they even showed I think a YouTube
Can
video.
I talk now?
The point is that I was way too hard on the show, and I've changed. And yes, I'm sorry. I've controlled the
You
conversation far
filibustered.
too long.
Uh,
Well, you wanted to take away kids' school lunches. I had to.
also because I had to take my dog upstairs. But anyway,
Oh shit.
I
I had to vamp, dude, and I had to fill time while you were off roading.
what is rodent to you?
Off roading.
I don't even explain it because I'm not gonna play the drop.
Off roading. What drop?
Off-road.
Oh, you saw
We'll have that soon because you'll be going to doing that Hoosiers thing.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, later off air. Off panel, off topic, off air.
No, we'll tease it.
That's
on
our
the,
new
on the air.
Hey, that's our new podcast. Off panel, off topic, off air. It's for patrons only on our fake Patreon. Because nobody will pay for this.
Behind the scenes.
I lost it. There's an interesting thing too, because while I was watching episode 5, I thought about what you were saying last week, and I had the same thought you did, where I was like, I don't really give a shit about anything because I thought Tyler's definitely gonna be like, what are we doing with this? But as the episode progresses, it makes more and more sense why it exists, and it's a really good. And like you were talking about treating it like comic books, right?
Yeah.
And I saw somebody else.
Some are good and some are bad.
I saw somebody else say that on Blue Sky, and I thought that was interesting. Where it was, a similar take, where it was, this is a perfect example of a, in between issue between two big arcs. So we finished that first arc of him finally coming to terms with he just gives into his.
And I hate to use the term filler issue because, to be honest, that number 4 Absolute Batman is not terrible.
No,
it's just a filler issue in a big thing that you've been announcing for a year. That was my big issue. Big.
I love what this episode did with your expectations and played a lot with bait and switch styles, and I like that. Like, for example, we see Matt use the new Billy Club. We see the suits and everything. So we know it's coming. We know the suit's coming back, right? But it doesn't come back in this episode.
Mm-mm.
And it barely even shows up in episode 3. Or episode 6. It shows up at the end of that episode. But
love the
knowing
eyes.
what's going to come after this is going to be fucking insane. So anyway, back to this. I was thinking that too, and I had a critical view of it. I'm like, wait a minute.
What are we doing?
What are we doing?
Yeah,
and
what are we? Not
because it's in the middle of the heist.
Same question, different inflection.
And it's like, God damn it! I just love Charlie Cox,
right?
As Matt Murdock. He fucking kills this role. And you know what?
D'Onofrio's Kingpin.
Despite how you may feel about Dwayne Johnson, I'm going to say what The Rock said last year when it went to WrestleMania. Sit down, shut up, and enjoy the ride that they're taking us on. Because that's what I did in these last 2 episodes, and that's why I love them. I was like, oh my gosh, that 5th episode, I was like, when is he going to put the suit back on? We told we were getting the suit. And I turned to the comic book guy from The Simpsons, and I was like, where is the fucking suit? And in the meantime, it was like, no, you have to understand that it's Matt, like, and his girlfriend talking about masks and how that plays and like vigilantes and stuff, and then that sequence when they bait and switch you again, where they're like, take the blind guy, and then he says no, take the husband, like, don't pity me because I'm blind, because you think, oh, he's gonna get away, put a suit on, and come back and whip their ass, and then the episode says no, we're not doing that, we're doing this, and I appreciated it more because, like, okay, this is giving me something new and interesting. And dude, the fucking stairwell scene was so awesome. When he slowly takes his tie off and strangles the dude and then catches the fucking shotgun before it's all, there's no sound.
Well, the entire
breath.
fight, he's trying
not
can't
to
make
sound
any
off.
noise.
Yeah. And it's they keep playing. Then, and what I think this show is done really well, and it's shown in this episode and really shown off in the next one, is doing the parallel storylines and doing the parallel similarities. Like, they really like do it in this one and the next one, of like when they're about to breach and shoot tear gas, they're counting outside, and then Matt is not giving up the diamond, and the dude is himself is counting like, I'm gonna give you a count to like 3 or what was it, 3 or something, and they sync it up at 3, 2, 1, and then all hell breaks. Like it was just so well made, and the fact that he like went on the fucking rampage and hunted him down and beat the shit out of it. Oh my god, when he stomped on his leg and shattered it, I literally bit my finger like, oh! Like that was painful, you know what I mean? I loved it. Fucking loved it.
I loved it too. Episode 6.
We're just going to do that? Well, I want to point out, I thought it was going to be...
The diamond's going to come back somehow.
No, it already did. It paid off in episode 6 because we find out, because in the and this is where I was going to point to you, if I was like, oh, this fucking guy.
Where does it...
So when you talked about your vagueness of your text, I was ready to debate you because I'm like, if he's going to say episode 5 was filler and 6 actually meant something, I'm like, no. There's a scene in episode 5 that ties those 2 episodes together, because when they're, I can't remember exactly the moment, but there's a moment where the guy that's the lead Irishman with the green mask,
Yeah.
he says, get this to Luca. Like their point is to get the diamond to Luca. And Luca is the guy that's talking to Fisk,
Yeah.
where he squeezes him for money.
Yeah.
So the diamond is tied back to Fisk and tied back to Luca. So that's how it's tied to the 2 episodes. See, it made sense. It wasn't just
no,
a
I'm
random
saying
episode.
I don't,
no, I'm
I
saying
don't-
if anybody thinks that this episode 5 didn't have a purpose and it was just...
Hey.
No, I'm not saying you do. But if someone does, I would just say, like, I think that was the point. It was
I
to tie
think-
that Fisk is still dirty. and
I
he's
think
still...
we have not been doing the Grift report for a long time, and I'm fine with that. I am fine with that. But the problem is we did it for so long that
combative.
I just kind of got it into my head like we should be more critical of this stuff, because I don't want to be seen as a shill or whatever. Like
Yeah.
I want to, it's what all critical reviews start with in the mind of the reviewer, and it is I can't start off and I can't have this too negative or too positive. You have to have some problems with stuff. I truly do think that's how reviewers think when they start doing it. And I don't want to feel like that. I want to talk about the show on our show as a fan watching it, because that's what I am.
Well, and
I'm not a reviewer watching it.
Another thing that I really
I'm having
love
fun.
about these last 2 episodes is it's really, really tied it into the MCU proper. Like so with Kamala's dad being a part of it, and then also
Swordsman.
the swordsman in the next episode, and it being like,
Who is an incredibly powerful person in New York.
And again, tying that, like the fact that, like,
As his alter
okay,
ego.
so there is some payoff to Fisk being in the Hawkeye show. Like there is a little bit of payoff to that. However, you still just kind of hand wave the Echo thing where I'm like, okay, that's weird. And I agree with you. And by the way, I agree with you on the criticisms of this, and that's another thing too, where I was like, I turned my thing off of, like, and it wasn't to say like I didn't want to criticize the episode. I just had a moment where, like, you know what, I'm enjoying myself and I don't really give a shit. Like, this is just fun. And
Yeah, like just now I was trying to think of something critical to talk about.
You know
I'm
what the
like,
problem
I don't
is?
want to.
You know what the
Fuck
problem? And you're right with when we talk about the Grift report and stuff. You're absolutely right. I think the main thing is to hate Marvel now.
Well, no,
because
we
they've gotten so far past.
We started. I think, I don't know. I can't speak for you, but I think we both kind of went down the same path, which is we kind of started thinking, well, we don't want to be like Marvel shills, okay? Because every time we like, I didn't really like the Marvels, not so much.
I enjoy it. We.
I'm saying, like, I don't enjoy every single thing
No,
that
yeah,
Marvel
right.
does, but I do watch everything, and for the most part, I enjoy them, even when they're not so good.
Unless it's Secret Invasion.
Yeah, fuck it. Well,
I didn't even watch that show.
Motherfucker, you used AI for the opening credits. What did you expect was going to happen?
I didn't
Fuck
even
you.
try to watch that show.
I watched it through season or episode like 3, and then I
Agatha shocked me. I didn't want to give a shit about that show,
I loved it.
and I enjoyed it a lot.
Anyway.
And I think this, like, the end of this season is going to be nuts. And I think these just the tension, and I wonder, like, and I think it may be, I honestly think it is just because they're just trying to get it out of the way of Andor, because they don't like to oversaturate the week because
I would say so.
They-
Do we
they
know
just
what
split
night
them
it's going to be on?
I think Andor's supposed. Honestly, I think it's supposed to be Wednesdays. If I think it might, I could be wrong.
Well, I mean, we can look it up. We got the
could do
little
it.
machine in our hand.
No, I think it's Tuesdays. So I think they're trying to split up Daredevil faster because they did these 2 episodes together, which I didn't know they were doing. I think it was intentional because I think this was meant to. Because did you also see that they did a mid-season trailer? So before
a mid-season trailer last year.
No. So before this week's episode came out, they put out a 90-second sizzle reel of the last episodes of this season. So and they call it a mid-season trailer. So I watched it after watching these 2 episodes, and I'm like, oh, I see what they're going and where this ends up. What are you talking about?
Tuesday.
Yeah, so that's why I think they did the 2 episodes. They're trying to get it out of the way of Andor. I think
There's a new trailer out.
for Daredevil.
It's Andor season 2.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about that later.
I
But
haven't watched it.
I said we'll talk about it. We got too much shit to talk about now.
We'll talk about it next week.
Anyway, episode 6. I loved this one a lot because they did the same thing with the parallels of the last episode of telling what they've been doing all season, and that's kind of been with their promotional stuff. That's been their motive, is to tell Fisk's story and Matt's story and how they're going to collide again.
It was moments like there were moments during episode 6 and maybe 5 too a little bit, but I remember I've talked to you and you've said it to me too. Like, I know you like, long drawn out acting scenes.
Yeah.
When actors are just really bringing their A.
And that's why I really liked episode 5.
And that's what I started looking for again. Like, there are times when I don't appreciate Charlie Cox's interpretation of Matt Murdock.
He's like the subtlety of it, yeah.
But then I understand that not a lot of people like Matt Murdock. They respect him, but not a lot of
Matt's
people
a dick.
like. Yes,
Matt's a dick.
He is a overconfident dick.
He's a slut. No, I'm just kidding. He gets around. I'm just saying.
But then I started thinking, and then all of the reactions that Fisk had in that room when he was trying to ask for money, like most all of them were reactions of like, I didn't expect that, and just kind of like, and it reminded me like fucking Vincent D'Onofrio is an incredible actor. He's doing shit. He's playing 4D chess on your ass. He's doing shit. He is. There's a drop. There's a drop.
I was thinking to myself, what a sentence. He is doing 40 chess on your ass.
You did 50 and a 30. Your sentence is he's going to play 4D chess
did you
on
hear
your
what
ass.
I said? I said he's playing 4D chess on your ass.
What? We don't have a list yet.
Not yet.
Not yet, bro.
No. What? Anyway. I suck at this.
Yeah. But I liked not to speed through it, but most of this episode is dealing with Muse.
Can I say something?
Yes.
We talk a lot
It
about
is our show.
I know, because we both.
It's not my show.
Let me
it's
go on
our
a
show.
fucking tangent.
Let me
No.
go on a fucking
talk-
tangent.
We talk a lot about the show about now. I don't know if he's necessarily dead, but I think they're implying he's dead. I appreciate because we talk a lot about escalation and how realistically you can escalate a story before it gets a little too, before you kind of lose your suspension of disbelief.
Sure.
Like when we talked about Absolute Batman, at some point you're like, "There's only so many people they can kill." You know what I mean?
You know what else I realized? Go ahead.
So that's what I mean with Muse, where because he said something. What was
60.
it? 60. I'm like, okay, so we're gonna have to end this character real soon.
Also,
Where the fuck is the NYPD? How did he kill 60 people with no one knowing?
Also, these fucking murals are gigantic, and he has somehow done them without being caught by any security
And the
cameras.
sequence in the fucking alley where they're like,
Yeah, come on.
that was stupid. Where they're like, hey, you the Muse? And then he's like, he just kills him. And then, again, I'm sorry. 60 people and no one in the NYPD knows about this? It's a little unbelievable. So I appreciate by the end of this episode, they're like, okay, Matt's going to go to that limit and kill him. And I hope this is true. I don't know. I didn't necessarily.
He didn't. He escaped.
Sure, whatever.
Also, the whole.
No, yeah, because he shows up in the next episode because he's in the in the trailer for the next episode.
I gotta be honest.
But my point is, he has to die, or Matt, like, because you can't. Again, you can only kill so many people before I'm like, the Avengers would, like, somebody from the Avengers would step in.
Where the fuck is Kamala Khan, by the way?
So, appreciate that we're going to this. Like, clearly we're gonna wrap this up soon because they're gonna still fight in the next episode. Yeah. I've seen it in, like, there's a clip of it.
I just don't think. I mean, I don't really think he's a great character for Daredevil because, I mean, I know Daredevil with his senses can see stuff on walls like paintings and stuff. He can tell it's paint or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, if he's around one of this guy's murals, I'm sure he can sense the blood underneath somehow, or smell it, or, you know.
It's the same thing I said in the Netflix show, in season 2 of the Netflix show.
Mm-hmm.
I think Elektra should have been used in season 3, and I think, or one or the other.
Why are we going back there?
No, because this is how I feel. No. Shut up. This is how I feel about it. I think Muse should have just been used for the next season, and they should have just left him out of this because I feel like it's such a weird red herring when we're building to this Punisher task force that's going to make we're going to get Matt and fucking Frank teaming up. Like, we're going to get that, and you were so wrong, and I'm so happy about that I was right, where I'm like, no, I think Punisher's going to be a big factor in this.
Oh, I'm just, like I said, like,
sit down, shut up, and take the ride, baby. That's what we're doing.
I've kind of flipped a little bit to just being, I just want to be a connoisseur.
Yeah.
And I know that means that, well, you should understand as a connoisseur if it's not good.
But you know what I mean?
Shut the fuck up, Melanie Mac. I don't know why I brought her up.
But you know how I have you see what I mean with that? Like,
I have no idea if she even gives a shit about this show.
I feel like the Elektra stuff felt kind of weird with what was going on with what they were doing with the Punisher storyline, and I feel very similar to this, with what they're doing with Kingpin and Punisher and Daredevil. To have Muse come in here.
Season 2 also had Stick.
So you know what I mean? I feel like
that's why season 2.
I'm just the point I'm trying to make is Muse. I think should have been used in the next season and maybe not used here.
Fair.
And we could have just focused on what they were already laying the groundwork with the task force and Fisk.
There were a lot of times during that fight sequence that I was like, now, trust me.
We got to talk about the ending of that episode.
Well, yeah, but the one between Adam and Kingpin was rock on solid.
Oh, amazing.
No complaints.
Amazing.
No, like, oh, well. But let me just say this about the fight between. Look, if you're a writer of this show, why would you let Muse put that thing in her leg and start pumping blood before Daredevil even gets there? Now you're trying to tell me that she's lost all this blood, but he's somehow. No, man.
It's a ticking clock.
The fact that she's on the slab is a ticking clock.
Really?
Yes.
You would argue that?
Yes,
versus
because she's
losing blood and dying?
I'm saying, like, you.
Well, she's already in the dungeon, I guess. I see what you mean.
I'm just saying, like, a lot of times writers, they want to up the stakes.
You have to.
Do you? The fact that she's already been kidnapped and about to be, right? That's enough for me.
Oh, and you weren't like you didn't like the part with you can hear her heartbeat fainting.
Right, but is she still losing blood? Is this thing still in her leg? I'm saying there are things that need to be done. I know that I'm trying not to be as critical of things like that, but some of that stuff I could not suspend my disbelief. Wait a second.
I disagree. I think it's meant for tension and making
the Adam Kingpin one was
Stop being meta.
Spot on, dude.
Stop being meta. Enjoy the shit. So I really thought that he was gonna kill him, like Chop.
I did too.
I really thought, but that's another thing too. I thought Fisk was gonna kill that Adam dude, and he doesn't.
Felt like he did.
I'm pretty sure he did because he punched.
No, he was breathing
barely, and then he dragged him in there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what kind of brain he has left because he just smashed his fucking head. He's got to have a broken neck or something. Jesus. Look, people forget when you get hit in the head, like, it also hurts your neck. I mean, you're not. It's not like your head gets hit and every other part of your body is fine.
Yeah.
I mean, your spine, your neck, I mean, your shoulder, your...
He's still fucking horrifying. I can't. Him, when he is beating the shit out of someone, it is hard to watch.
The point where the point where he's in the cell and he realizes right before he runs out screaming, you show a close up of him and he's
at ease.
At that moment, he's like, this is kind of horrible. But then he switches over to, I have a chance to escape. I'm going to fucking take it.
Yeah.
And he just goes from like, trepidatious to,
human instinct. Yeah.
And just as Kingpin is a master hand-to-hand combatant, and the worst thing you can do against a master hand-to-hand combatant is fight angry. Because then you telegraph every move. It didn't matter that he had an axe. At first, I thought he was just going to chop him up.
He knew he was going to go for his head.
I thought he was going to chop him up.
Well, no, after he beat his head in, I thought he was going to just drop the axe and chop it off or something. Or just drop it in his head. I didn't know what he was going to do. I was like, at that point, just fucking kill him, man. Like,
what are we doing now?
But that's what I mean. That's love
why
it.
He's
the
horrible.
villain.
Yes.
You're supposed to hate him.
Yes. You're not supposed to be like,
And that's what I mean. It's like, fucking, that's what I mean. There was a moment, like you talk about being overly critical about things, when I started to realize, like, it's like Darth Vader is a whiny bitch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Kingpin is oh my God. Look, man, maybe you should have thought about you not being able to fulfill your wife that she cheated on you. Instead, you beat this man senseless to near death.
To get your...
You couldn't even kill him.
To get your anger out? Although
you little bitch.
That scene where it pans up to him and he's just sitting in the cell above him, like, was chilling. His reaction was just kind of like...
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, let's move on to the next thing, because we're not on a time crunch, but it is late.
Oh, my God.
It is late.
You know I have a guest room. You could just sleep here. If you needed. Like if it got too late.
No, I'm not worried.
We're going all night.
I'm more worried about people in this house sleeping while we're
Fuck 'em.
yelling.
I'm kidding. I would never say that.
Fuck that shit. I don't.
Fuck my
I don't-
family.
I don't give a shit. Wow. All right.
No.
I know.
It's a joke.
It's a joke, mate. Listen.
It's a joke.
Right. If you don't understand, then fuck off, mate.
So Tyler, we have some news
Okay.
tonight. I'm glad you're here with me.
Do you have the list?
You bet your tits I do.
You want me to press it while you do the list?
Sure. It's what 316 on there. So we promised you still.
Hang on.
Are you really?
I thought it was down at the. Oh, sorry.
It's black.
I was looking at the blue ones.
gonna
It's
say,
a black one.
Black tile, white font. There you go.
Now wait a second. What? Okay, I want to make sure I got that one there too. Okay.
That's for the. That's that. You know,
That's
you.
the alternate.
Hey, use that at your discretion.
Listen, man, I'm the
All right.
fucking meta motherfucker. Okay.
These chuckle fucks at at Marvel Studios and Disney announced the cast list for Avengers Doomsday. And
Stick around.
For 4 hours.
yeah. You know what? This is literally your day job. Why
I
don't I
wonder-
let you do this more?
I wonder if somebody does 4 hours. I wonder if somebody watched it for all 4 hours. Because I kept going backwards.
4-hour
like,
live stream, yeah.
I kept going backwards to see what was going on. I finally said, fuck it, and I went and looked it up in an article. But yeah, they did.
Oh, I hate when...
Do you think they spoiled Thunderbolts? There was an article I read. They're like, well, they said that they're all
Kinda.
coming back except for Task. Anyway.
Kind of.
All right, so are we ready with the cast list?
Sure. So this is pure insanity. I want
It's
everyone
great,
to know.
by the way. Yeah.
It's insane. It is. I think it's fair to say this for you. I don't want to necessarily always speak for you, but I think I could speak for you here. This is a wet dream.
Big stiffy.
A big old wet dream. Here we go.
Mhm.
First up, here's the official cast, believe it or
Jeez,
not, for this
just-
movie.
Yeah.
First up, Chris Hemsworth.
What?
Tom Hiddleston.
What?
Anthony Mackie.
What?
Paul Rudd.
What?
Letitia?
Letitia? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Black
Letitia.
Panther. Letitia.
What?
It looked like Letitia. I'm sorry. I genuinely
fucking comedy!
I genuinely apologize. Letitia, right? I'm sorry. I don't know why I said that. All right. Why would that be a name, Jake? Jesus Christ. Okay. Simu Liu.
I could write a book about what you don't know.
What? Okay.
Danny Ramirez. He was Falcon in that movie. Winston Duke.
What?
From Thunderbolts.
What?
Sebastian Stan.
What?
Florence Pugh.
What?
Wyatt Russell.
What?
David Harbour.
What?
Hannah John Kamen. She was Ghost. And Louis Pullman as a character that's named
What?
Bob. All right, this is where it gets
This
nuts.
is fucking great.
This is where it gets bonkers, bro. Alan Cumming.
Sloppy.
He's great on Traders. You should watch that show.
So do we think he's playing Nightcrawler?
He's Nightcrawler.
What?
I'll keep.
What? Sorry. We have a sounder for that.
Kelsey Grammer.
I knew that one.
What?
This gets crazier. Channing Tatum.
What?
Gambit.
What?
Pedro Pascal.
What?
Vanessa Kirby.
What?
Eben Moss. Is that how you say it? Eben Moss.
Backrack.
Crack cocaine.
I just burped into the mic, by the way. Just
What?
Christ.
Joseph Quinn.
What?
And the dude who played Namor.
What?
The guy who played Namor.
What?
There you go. I don't
Disrespect.
remember,
and
I don't want you to say
to not-
Letitia again.
What? Sloppy.
I'm gonna name my second born Letitia.
Nice.
What? Yeah, that's yours. Keep it.
You fucking got it.
You got the job.
Fuck you.
All right. Yeah, get ready to say that a lot. 'Cause this next topic.
Okay.
Oh, and by the way, Robert Downey Jr. Don't forget.
What?
Okay.
So speaking of Marvel, it's almost impossible to think of Marvel and not think of Stan Lee. And I give a jokey tone here. It's probably gonna get a little serious, but I really want to make fun of this guy. We haven't done the Griff report in a long time, but this could. So here.
Oh. I was just talking about how much fun it was without it.
No. I promise we'll have some fun with this.
Oh, we will.
Because I'd like to think there is some good in the world about this. So,
Sure.
a couple weeks ago, about 2 weeks ago, John Bolerjack,
Yeah.
who
Here's a guy I don't give a fuck if I pronounce his name right or not. John Fuckface. John Boulder Dash. Boulder Fuck.
Letitia Bolerjack.
Oh my God. You just did
What?
God. Oh my God.
You're killing the joke, Jake.
Oh my God.
So John Bolerjack released his trailer for his documentary Stan Lee.
Haven't watched it because I
You
don't
let
want to.
me-
Sorry.
Stan Lee, the final chapter, which is his documentary documenting the exploitation
have
he
you watched
faced
it?
at the end of his life. Yes, I've watched the trailer.
See,
I've done some research on this, so I've watched some interviews that this guy's done, and this guy reeks of a dude who just is like,
I found a way to get famous.
yeah, and he just
Any way
decided
possible.
like, why have an income when I can continue to profit off this corpse? Like that's really like, and I mean that's his view of it, not mine, because I don't know Stan Lee, but I'm not gonna talk about the man as like,
See, in his mind, he's protecting the legacy of Stan Lee.
yeah.
And rather, we shouldn't think about it in his mind, because in his mind, he's probably like, I just don't want to get a real job. But to the public, I'm protecting the legacy of how? By showing him get beat up and by not doing anything while you filmed it, you fucking fuck?
Well, here's the thing.
Wow.
Well, the guy that's in the movie, like the dude that's, you broke it.
What?
The guy that's in the trailer, that's the one that's doing the most abuse on camera or whatever. That guy, he was the one that's going to be pointed as like, well, he was hawking like fucking NFTs after Stan Lee had died. And I'm like, how is John Bolerjack any better than that guy? Because he is continuing to profit off a dead man and the name of a dead man.
Oh, fuck
you.
So he releases this trailer of this footage he's had for years, and then is creating a Kickstarter for this movie for $300,000. I want to point out I think April 11th is the end, and it's only got 73,000, and a lot of people are just paying to talk shit about this guy. Because
what do you mean? So like
So John Bolerjack met Stan Lee in 2015. And he met him because he ran a comic book shop for a long time. He still runs it. I'm pretty sure he still runs it, and they're like tied to this with like the comic books and shit. But he and by the way, there's some really good Actual Fandom does a really good video about it. There's a couple other really good YouTube videos out there that you should watch. Because I did some research, but I didn't go like full on like grabbing clips and all this other shit.
good.
No, because I didn't want to. So he was at the time he was doing the comic book shop thing, but he was also trying to be in like photography and like filmography or something. I think he went to like film school. I don't know. Point is, he met Stan in 2015 to pitch the idea of doing a reality show of him still doing the convention circuit of like him on the road and stories of Stan on the road or whatever. So right there, he talks about his friendship with Stan. I'm sorry, John. You still exploited him there because you took an opportunity to try and pitch a reality show to get in with him, and then you just never left his side because Stan is just was a nice guy. And then you proceeded to constantly profit off his signature and brag about all the times you got to go to movie sets and things and do all the things with him, and then at the same time selling his comics, or and the fact that he says he wants to do this to do justice to his legacy. Fuck you. You do one Google search, takes you 5 fucking seconds, and you figure out how to take that evidence that you have hours of to the police. It's very easy to to report elder abuse.
Also, I don't even think you have to Google search, you fucking moron.
Common sense. I have footage of elder abuse. Take it to the fucking cops.
You know what's common sense is if you're filming it while it's happening, maybe put the fucking camera down and fucking stop it. Because guess what? Can I inform you something about bullies? Okay, people who abuse others. Okay, they abuse people because they are cowards. Okay. I stated this back during the Penn State shit. There was that
Sandusky
fucking
scandal.
assistant coach who said he saw something happening or
Didn't do it.
whatever.
Yeah.
Right. And dude, I called in to the radio show and I said, dude, all you had to do was go, hey, what's going on? The guy runs away. Right?
See something, say something.
You stop it. Why would you walk away while that's happening? You understand me, right?
Well, it's a legacy thing of like.
I'm just saying, like, I know that if anybody asks you why you didn't stop it, you're going to say like, well, I didn't know if my life was in danger, something, blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, dude, fuck that. All you would have had to do is go, hey, stop fucking beating up on that old dude, or I'm going to kick your ass. And they would have been like, whoa, sorry, man.
Yeah.
Because they're cowards.
All he had to do,
cowards.
all he had to do, but instead by the way, what do you need $300,000 for? Because all the interviews that are in this documentary are from comic book artists that knew Stan, that you had known through Stan. So what is it to pay them? Is it to do that? Like, what do you need $300,000 for this?
I don't know.
And guess who's a part of the documentary? One of the people in it, one of the talking heads, Rob fucking Liefeld. More reason to hate that prick. All right, so
wow, I'm glad I've turned you into a Rob Liefeld.
No, yeah, fuck him sideways. Anyway, and not in a fun way.
Wow.
So let's go to kick. Time out.
Ladies and gentlemen, there is a fun way.
You want to know why I got so frustrated with this and so angry and heated? Because
tell us, Jake.
It's again, this guy could have easily solved this and fixed this when Stan was alive, but waits for him to be dead and then literally drags his corpse out to parade around
because it's been years since he's been able to
this decomposing
off
puppet
of Stan Lee when he was alive
to make this bullshit documentary.
And
by
in
the way,
years since he hasn't tried to get a job or change careers or do anything for himself. Yeah,
let's go to the Kickstarter, shall we? Here's just a few of the goals that are on their Kickstarter.
Oh God!
For $50, you could get the Captured Hero archival comic variant. A stunning photo comic capturing rare, candid moments of Stan Lee like you've never seen before, shot by filmmaker Jonathan Bolerjack. How can you post that and say you are any better than the guy that was abusing Stan in that fucking documentary, dude?
Yep.
You're doing the same thing. I copy and pasted the whole thing. I'm not going to read the whole thing now, but I just thought it was funny to look at this dude just the masturbatory shit that is about, again, think about this. Let's break it down in the simplest forms. It's a documentary about elder abuse after that person died, and you filmed it before they were dead and didn't do shit, and now you're asking for $300,000. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
And you parade
Running.
his corpse around on paper in this comic book, and then you rope other people into it. Also, I want to point out, I copy and pasted this one specifically because they misspelled San Diego, and it makes me laugh. So, for $150, you could be a part of an exclusive San Diego screening Q&A. Join us for an unforgettable evening in San Diego. They spelled wrong. With an
How do they spell it?
EI instead of IE. So it's DEIGO.
San Diego.
And bingo, what's his name?
Wait.
With an exclusive screening of the Stanley tribute film, and then exclamation point, be among the first to experience the magic on the big screen, followed by a live Q&A session with the cast and crew. Location and date to be determined. Travel and lodging not included. Again,
I wouldn't think so for $150.
I'll be brief on this one. This is the last one. This is one of the ones I saw. Was like, this can't be real. But we're in a post-Trump world, so
Dude,
here we
yeah.
are. For $500, you could go on the Stan Lee Los Angeles tour with the director. What's that, you say, as you raise your eyebrow at me? Embark on a thrilling, one-of-a-kind tour through Los Angeles. I'm going to read this whole one because fuck this guy.
Fine, yeah.
Through Los Angeles with film director Jonathan Bolerjack as he takes you on key locations featured in Stan Lee documentary. Please do your best not to interrupt me because I got to get through this. Experience the city like never before as Jonathan shares behind-the-scenes anecdotes and reveals the secrets of the film's productions. Visit the places where bribes were offered, schemes were plotted, and millions went missing. Stories that have never been told until now. This is your chance to walk in the footsteps of Stan Lee's incredible journey, uncovering the dark and fascinating moments that shaped the legend's final years. Don't miss out on the unforgettable adventure through Los Angeles, guided by the director himself. Pay me $500 so I can explain to you again how I fucking railroaded this old man to the grave.
Fuck
you, man.
In the dictionary next to the word ghoul is a picture
dude.
of John Bolerjack. What a fucking
There's
vulture.
hope. There's hope. He has raised like a little over 73,000.
Yeah.
But like I said earlier, a good portion of them are people that are like paying to just comment to talk shit and be like, "This is fucking gross. Fuck this piece of shit." April 11th is the end, and he doesn't. Again, he's only got like almost 74,000, like 74,000, and he needs 300K. So I don't think it's all or nothing too. So if it doesn't get funded, it doesn't get funded, and I hope it doesn't. 'Cause fuck this piece of shit. He was also to put a cherry on top of this, to wrap this part up. he after the trailer came out, he went on Nerdrotic's stream with Nerdrotic and Chris Gordon. And it was so, like, even Nerdrotic's audience, it was so bad for even them that he took the fucking stream down. Because he's a pussy. Because he can't even stand on this. He can't even own it. At least Bolerjack still fucking has the Kickstarter out. At least he's still standing on his stupid shit. Sorry, we had some technical difficulties there. But yeah, to just kind of, to wrap it all up, like...
John Bolerjack's a dick. Fuck him.
So when I first heard about it, I'm like... Because I didn't really look into it. I just heard that it was coming out. I'm like, I don't really need to see that, but I guess it's good for his family. And then I got more news about it. I'm like, oh, well, fuck this guy. Because he consistently just didn't do anything but profit off of like, there's even a clip that incriminates himself where he's like, people like to say, like, when he got older, like, Stan wasn't really there. But, like, if I told Stan that, like, aliens landed in LA and everything's crazy and everything's going on, he would just be like, he would ask questions like, what color the suits were they wearing? Or, like, he would ask questions about it. Like, he was there, and I'm like, So he ran with your delusion, whereas someone who had their wits about them would be like, you're clearly just talking shit. That just proved that he's not all there, man.
Also,
He's also in his 90s.
why are
Leave him
you
alone.
Yeah, why are you fucking with an old person by being like, "Hey, aliens have landed"? Like, what the?
Why would you even
fuck
play
is-
that hypothetical with a man in his 90s?
Yes. Why, to see if he's still there?
Who gives a shit? He's in his 90s.
Let him fucking nap.
How many people can say that?
Let him nap.
Let alone. Jesus.
What a fucking dick.
So fuck John Bolerjack.
Pretty much.
And let's leave some. Fuck him, but let's talk about things we would fuck with, and that's these comic books.
All right.
And this one's sponsored by Church because I
This one's sponsored by Church.
go with Christ.
I didn't say which. Hey,
Sorry.
I can do that. I didn't say which one.
Shit, I did.
And that means
Fuck.
no, you didn't.
I said
and-
Christ. I said go with Christ.
That's not a particular church. I'm talking about.
Oh.
Hey, I'm talking about whichever church is in this town or whichever church is in the town over, whatever they're called. I'm talking about a particular church. We are sponsored by Church. All kinds. Everyone in the fucking world.
Tyler, we got 2 books. Well, we got 3, but we're gonna say one for next week. So we have 2 books. And number 1,
And a number 6.
and I guess we're talking about number 6 or whatever. But yes, we started the trend. Well, this is the first book post the initial 5-issue arc.
6 for Batman.
So, for those counting at home, 6 does come after 5. And so this one is a 2-issue arc.
Called The Lady or the Tiger.
Yeah. And
Now, if we remember at the end of the arc, she got sucked into.
back down to the underworld
Yeah, and baby, they were like, what?
after she saved
So
everybody.
this one is Kelly Thompson is the writer again, but Mattia DeUlis is the artist.
The art is fucking insane.
Right?
It looks a lot. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of those like Conan the Barbarian comics.
Frank Frazetta.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah, that style. So like,
The way
God, the
I think it's a
shading and the-
she.
yeah, well, the shading they did in this and just everything about like, and I really enjoyed the art from that first run. That first.
I
arc.
hope they come back.
The
I
first
hope
5
Hayden
issues,
Sherman
but like
continues,
this
yeah.
little, because this is a 2-issue thing, and it's like what we talked about with Daredevil earlier. It's like that perfect example of like an in between arcs thing. Because Absolute Batman is doing the same thing with theirs. There's a 2-issue Mr. Freeze thing that they advertise in this book. But I really dug it. I did it as well. I think that it was cool to take all of the action and spectacle from that first arc and then kind of slow it. Yeah, the Secret 6 ad drives me nuts.
No, dude.
Oh, yeah, the Mount Prometheus.
Shit about the ad.
Well, let me get to the thing. Jeez. So now she's back in the underworld. Hades is like, hey, you are never supposed to leave the underworld. So she's pretty much on trial. And yeah, so the book is just more world building, but it's well written. So like when you see that you understand how she gets Pegasus and she goes to Prometheus and it's Mount Prometheus and it's literally him with his hands bound and he's literally behind a mountain.
She does a bunch of shit and she sets him free and she's like, I ask your forgiveness because she knows that once Zeus realizes he's not tied up and he's going to get it worse.
And the eagle, the people who know the myth, the eagle eats his insides.
Yeah, so he says like, so she says like, hello sister, I wonder if I might persuade you not to eat for my friend anymore.
yeah. And so then she asks for his blood to create Pegasus, like resurrect Pegasus back, and it's just this like bad, like what we've seen him in the other parts of this book. But like again, this is supposed to be this like 2-issue gap in the series, right? But it still manages to have a lot of spectacle, but not going to the lengths of the last few issues did. It's still an intimate story because it's just her fighting monsters.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so satisfying. And it really goes back to her playing with the mythology roots of the character
Yeah.
and going back into it. And I'm eating that shit up. And
Oh, me too.
it's like
fucking
what you and I
awesome.
have talked about. It's what we love about Thor and what Marvel does with Thor. Like, we love it when they actually do play with the mythology of these, like in this, Greek mythology and these characters. And like the fact that
He
she's
gives
fighting the fucking the last basilisk, and she's
Yeah.
fighting the giant snake. And
I
then-
want to read this because
Yeah.
a lot of white people in this world don't understand this. No. You need to understand this if we're ever going to come together in this world and shit. Pegasus, like so many, has been radicalized by injustice. Okay? Anyway, so it's a story of her getting Pegasus and like a bunch of other stuff. The
Well,
Nemesis lasso.
she's explaining the story of the Nemesis lasso
She's-
too. Like, that's the
yeah.
whole narrative
He's
device.
basically Hades is basically like, hey, what the fuck? And she's like, well,
She-
okay, answering all his
By the way-
questions. She blinds herself.
Time out. So she has 3 lassos. We know about the Nemesis one. We know about the truth lasso.
That's true.
They haven't talked about the blue one yet, have they?
Or the white one.
Or the white one? Yeah, it was a white one. But she drops a different color.
No. It's yellow, blue, and red.
So I'm assuming yellow will be still the truth ones, and then the other one.
I don't know.
The
We'll
blue
look.
one she'll explain later. But I really dug this as well.
Mhm.
I think it continues to show that, like, Kelly Thompson. Like, again, Wonder Woman is the best series from the Absolute line right now. Absolute Batman still fucking rules. Absolute Batman was awesome, but yeah, Absolute Wonder Woman.
The little
continues to-
Diana, those were cool as hell. Did you read those?
No, I didn't know.
Oh.
It was a little, but I love the art. It looks like a coloring book. Well, we're on a fucking crunch. So,
Here.
so
I'll vamp while you read it.
no, I love the thing that got me was like, okay, so I was, whenever you're reading the same run from one writer, there's always that time where they switch artists and there's something new.
Yeah,
so like the
look,
first,
we understand that it takes a while to create a book of art.
yeah,
And I'm not calling out Nick Dragotta from Absolute Batman. I'm calling out DC and Warner Brothers
and it's crunch.
for not having better timing on it.
For me, the shot
For
that
not knowing. And here's the thing, Dragotta,
when she's climbing the mountain,
my favorite is I showed you my favorite.
yeah, but the lightning in the background and then the silhouette of her climbing the mountain.
There's so many good
when I
pieces.
was like,
There's
God
so
damn,
many good
the shading and the
so many
colors and the everything about
so
this.
many good pieces of art in there. But and here's the thing, Dragotta like co-plotted that issue that he missed that he missed drawing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, okay, what's going on here? So again, the people involved,
The
I don't
basilisk
yeah,
looks crazy.
that whole sequence.
Blinds herself and then deafens herself.
No,
Smell.
yeah. because she has to use
Some
And then
stank ass shit.
read what she
And then
says
cutting
after
her
she
head
kills
off.
him.
Rest easy, Basilisk. May you find peace that eluded you in this world and your next one.
Because she knows that this animal was sent by Hades to kill her.
Zeus.
Oh, okay. To kill her.
Yeah.
Now, she knows that this creature
The
doesn't
gods
have
hate her, yeah.
the creature doesn't have a choice. And so I think it's very telling that she doesn't relish violence. She doesn't relish fighting. She relishes
Genuinely loves all living things.
Yes. And it's
Yeah.
just telling.
She is a
Talk about a
good.
hero for a modern world.
It's as simple as Diana just has empathy for all things, and like a good person should.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so Martian
moving on.
Manhunter number
Absolute
one
Martian Manhunter
fucking
number one.
sucked.
Fuck off. Say the full title. Absolute Manhunter number one.
Martian Manhunter. Or Absolute.
Absolute Manhunter. Absolute Martian. Absolute Martian Manhunter.
Absolute Piano Oddity.
Shut up.
Shut your fucking mouth. Shut your fucking mouth.
Try again.
Try again, you son of a...
I'm trying to figure out if it's the front or the back for the fucking title page.
It's Dennis Camp and
No, look at you,
Javier
guy.
Rodriguez. It's on the front. The bottom.
It's always the... Shut up. So we read one of the first series that we reviewed for this podcast was the Defenders run.
Yeah.
Al Ewing and Javier Rodriguez.
Yep.
So it's only fitting that we follow Denise because there's Z instead of an S. Denise Camp and Javier Rodriguez.
It could be pronounced Dennis, and we just
but the Z
are
makes it
Americans and
seem-
we're stupid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
I mean, I'm saying. Like,
English
I've seen
is a-
Z's before that were pronounced with that.
English is a silly language. So this book, you and I think you and I are much like the Absolute Wonder Woman book, probably aren't as well versed in
Okay,
Martian
so-
Manhunter. Let me get it, you fucker. You got to filibuster Daredevil. So maybe you and I aren't like super as into Martian Manhunters, you know, how? Okay, fine, say your fucking piece.
Finish it up and all.
No, it's a marriage. Speak now, forever hold your peace, or I'm gonna keep going.
I know enough about the Martian Manhunter to know that he, unlike Superman, I believe, was an original member of the Justice League of America. Okay? I don't believe Superman was. I think it was Batman and Black Canary and Flash.
He's always
and
been like a
Aquaman.
shapeshifter, and yeah.
And his backstory is that he was a Martian on Mars, and something happened where all these fires happened, and he escaped, but his memory was like broken, and he came to Earth and in other words, let me just say, all of the Absolute books have taken genre-defining traits or character-defining traits about these characters and changed it somehow, irrevocably. Now, the only issue I have with this book is that it seems to be following the exact fucking plot and origin of the real Martian Manhunter. So, what are we doing here?
Oh, there he is.
Yep. What are we doing here? Now, hang on a second. I want to state, first of all, that I've never read any Martian Manhunter comics. In fact, I can't recall him ever having a solo series ever. I'm sure he's had them,
Oh yeah.
but I just have never read them.
Oh, he's very popular with the cartoons.
My
and stuff.
big
Justice League.
exposure to Martian Manhunter is Justice League International, which was that stuff in the 80s.
Isn't that Morrison?
No, it was Geffen and DeMatteis and Kevin McGuire. I showed you that book. But he was one of the main guys in that book, and he became like a main character. So that's where I have most of my exposure from him, and they didn't really talk about his origin that much. They referenced it from time to time, but they didn't really dig deep into it. So I have no idea about, I have vague ideas about his origins, okay? I do know that his alter ego is a guy named John Jones, and that he's a detective of some sort. Now, if you're telling me that your genre or your character defining trait that you're changing is that instead of a cop, he's a Fed, fuck off. Get out of here with that shit.
I'm sure there's going to be more, but
I will say this. I love the writing and I love the art. Javier Rodriguez is a fucking master of the comic book form. The way he draws is just so beautiful. All of it, just gorgeous.
You know what this reminds me of? Just how it's the design of how he narrates and everything.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the Dr. Manhattan section of Watchmen. Very much that vibe, and I love that about it. And I don't know about you, but sometimes... What about you, dear?
Well, like, look at all the
hold on, but listen,
muted colors, and then he's imagining...
And then the light,
that's all
when he's
bright
holding
and
a
shit.
lighter to light a cigarette, the color coming off of it into the smoke, and then, like...
It's not black and white, but it's muted. You know, you can... That stands out, right?
So...
And like all...
When he's like going through and with the bomb, trying to figure out what happened, where there was a bomb explosion that almost killed him, and that's why he's got all bandaged up and everything, and he's trying to investigate it even though they tell him not to, and he's starting to see shit in the kid's toys. It looks like the Martian Manhunter, but like...
Well, the kid made him as a Martian.
Yeah. So... And then he's talking to the doctor, and then there's an old woman talking, and she's angry, and he sees the smoke coming out of her.
No, he's talking to the mother of the bomber.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Did you not read it?
No.
All right.
I'm fucking vamping.
Oh.
Jesus. I wanted to get to this.
We don't need to speed through the book.
Yes, we
man.
do,
No,
because we're over an hour.
Oh, so?
Yeah, and you've been fucking complaining.
Hey, we're here.
I'm
We're
tired.
gonna fit. Oh well, now it's your turn to be like, now it's time to go. See, about 20 minutes ago, I wanted to get going.
He's investigating the bombing that... oh, fuck you.
So pissy.
All right. Show's over. goes to the doctor about the explosion, and then he talks to him, and then like you get all the weird colors.
Well, his
and the
bosses are
panel.
like, take some time off, and his wife is like, can't you take some time off? Because
And he
he's
won't.
clearly distant. He won't. He's lying to both his boss and his wife. He's
It's
just
just colors.
Yeah.
His food looks like Play-Doh. Like it's all like it's just crazy because the way that he keeps hearing Martian, distant, different.
Yes.
His thoughts are constantly filling up. Like the part where he asks for time off, and this is what I love because you and I were talking before.
they're mirror images.
We were talking about doing this book, and then when you picked it up, you talked to me about it, and you're like, there's things that they do in this that play so much with the genre and the medium that you have to just applaud the pure insanity that this book is. Like this book is insane. Like he's like the whole time I'm reading it, I'm just like, this is an acid trip. Like what the fuck am I reading?
Well, it's a mind fuck, and especially
Yeah. So yeah, it's a mirror image. They do 2 pages.
Well, it's the same image.
That we're not 2 pages that are almost identical paneling, and they do 2 specific panels on each page. Where one he's talking to his boss, and in the other one it still is, but it's all these crazy colors
Because he's tripping.
because he's losing reality. Like this whole book he's unraveling, and it's so interesting because he is narrating, trying to catch up with what's happening with his mind while you are reading it with him.
Yes.
And it's crazy.
And the best part about it is, to everybody else, he is projecting this image of strength and of unflappability.
He's
And yet when they show him and he's seeing stuff, his eyes are wide. He's by himself, and he sees like that, right, with the bomb and whatnot.
So yeah, when he's investigating the bomb, one of my favorite. Like I just love it. You look for because he's talking about his main focus is his division is about stochastic terrorism, and it's kind of like the Minority Report thing where he's trying to figure out a crime before it happens to try and prevent it. Because his whole
I think that's the Martian talking.
yeah. Well, because the whole, or maybe it is. Yeah, maybe that's
Because
the
there's no such
'cause
thing
the whole-
in the world.
the whole cat. Well, that's why do people do what they do? Is what he's saying. Why do people do what they do? And
I think
why
we're gonna
why
find
does
out
one become a cop?
He was a
What-
detective on Mars,
Maybe.
and he was a
But
stochastic detective.
In the investigation, he talks to the mom. He goes, "How do I know the bomber's mother hates pickles? Always gave hers to him. How do I know that the bomber and his lifelong best friend made made love one summer and never spoke of it again and not even talked to each other?" I love that. Like
He does that with a lot of random people too.
Well, no,
throughout the
but
book.
what I'm saying is like when he's interviewing these people, and I love how futile it is to actually think that that could work, because nobody ever thinks that they're living next to a mass shooter.
Mhm.
Nobody ever thinks they're gonna live next to a
Well,
suicide bomber. You know what I mean?
It's stuff that doesn't really matter. It's
What
fodder.
what's the point
I
in
don't
asking
care
after
that
he's
she
already
doesn't
done what
I don't care
happened?
that she doesn't like pickles. But he's saying that, like, why do I know this? Why do I know that? Why do I know this? But when the people all start smoking,
And the smoke always has the colors. Because it's tying to the fire. Yeah. What? Where you at?
I don't know. But
Well, if you
want
want to point to something in the book, just point to it. Come on.
So he's
Tell we're
in
getting
the
tired.
doctor's. He's in the
a late one.
Hang on. He's in the doctor's
Ow!
office, and
Bump my knee.
and he keeps having all of these like things happen to him with the other people in the waiting room. He's having trouble with the doctor. He's going to talk to the mom. The mom is talking to him, and she's
Smoke's coming out of her
yeah.
ears.
Well, it's telepathic, whatever. And he starts breathing everything.
That's when shit gets weird.
Yeah. Then he starts coughing.
The one part that I want to point out that I really, really love too when I was playing with the medium is it in that part where he's walking in public and it's all the words and it's like different. They're all talking and it's like laughing and all these backwards dialogue and yeah. But
This
like
part right here, where I was like, "Holy shit!" Like everybody is a pillar of smoke,
yeah.
and he's just trying to get away. And like, yeah, there's all of this
And the colors, and
just-
then it's a giant one plate like this
Yeah.
splash page,
Mhm.
and it's the center of it is the
Javier
is the,
Rodriguez.
You hear my smacking of my lips. is the red eye of the Manhunter that we've seen throughout the book, and then it's just colors and swirls. It looks like it would be like a Mountain Dew label.
What?
In the best way possible. Because have you seen them lately? They
No.
have art like this on them. But,
All right. Well,
but
summertime.
But yeah,
Summertime
but like that,
promotions.
where it's like you see,
Yeah.
you just see like all this dialogue of random discussions in the background, but it's all this like Play-Doh looking material, and then all the city skyscraper, all that. Like it's just like you said.
So he's just
oh my
flipping
god!
his shit.
Oh my god! And then the next page, the paneling is fucking ridiculous. It looks like it's the like when you cut out letters from a fucking magazine and put it on something. It looks like that with the paneling. Then it's his eyeballs and his coloring on top. Like it is just pure insanity, dude. And it's so cool and awesome. And that's why I love this shit. You know what I mean? That's why I love comics.
Yeah.
And like, I love that. Oh, and then like, read the book. The end is the best part.
Yeah.
Because you get to the end of it.
Just read what it says at the bottom.
Yeah.
There.
So you get to the end of it, and it's him like looking in a mirror, realizing this thing is the Manhunter. Don't you fucker.
What?
So message to my fellow the face you made. Message to my fellow Martians. To activate your Martian vision, please take page 25 of the comic book in your hands and hold it up to the light. Use a lamp, a reading light, or the sun itself. It's up to you. Use a diagram for details.
Mhm.
So then, you take that page.
It's kind of awkward, but
You take the last.
it would have been cooler if it was the
stapling's
last
weird.
page
Yeah.
of the book itself. But yeah, we don't. Yeah.
No, I'm just saying it for. But you hold it up to the light, and then it says, "We're the Martian Mindfucker." Instead of saying the Martian Manhunter, it says the Martian Mindfucker, and I like that.
Yeah, so that's interesting.
I
definitely gonna
really,
follow
really
this
like
one.
that book. I mean, it's hard.
We got to talk about this.
It's hard to. But I want to real quick. I don't. I know that you don't really compare them. You preferred Wonder Woman versus this. I thought both books were really solid and really enjoyable. For the most part, the Absolute line has delivered for me. I've enjoyed a lot of the Absolute titles.
My biggest issue has just been how slow it took Superman to get going, which I eventually really liked.
Wonder Woman's been a banger consistently.
Yeah,
throughout.
the filler issue of the Batman was whatever, but yeah.
and Martian Manhunter's fun.
The reason why I liked Absolute Wonder Woman so much is because I didn't realize it was coming out. The cool thing about having a pull list is you have a pull list and you just go in every Wednesday and, oh, cool. And so I knew about this, and that was like cool, but then I read this first. I read Wonder Woman first. And the art just fucking blew me away. The story about, Mount Prometheus and all that shit.
Yeah, the art was incredible.
Right. So, and it's just
Both
furthering how much I love the book in itself. Again, failing the stupid shit about, oh, it's the same as the real and who gives a shit. That book fucking rules.
Yeah, Absolute Martian Manhunter.
But again, my only gripe is that, hey, if this is what the Absolute line is, and man,
I'm
we
sure
see
we'll
a
find out.
preview of the Green Lantern and not good.
Yeah, I was just gonna say we could segue into that. The one thing where I'm like, I don't know about that is the Absolute Green Lantern. Look, there are people that like that art style. And
Not me.
Not me. There's people that like anime. Not me. It's just not my thing.
Yeah, there's a one of the newer books I bought on Wednesday has a Absolute Flash preview, which doesn't tell you anything also. But the art
When are we
is
gonna
better.
get Absolute Plastic Man? When are we gonna get that, DC?
When are we gonna get fucking what's his name's Plastic Man movie, James Gunn?
Ben Schwartz?
Why the fuck is he not green lighting that? There's already a script from what I understand.
I want that.
so bad.
That dude's funny as shit. I want that.
Right?
I want that.
What is this? Jean Raphael?
No West. Yeah. He's also
He is the West.
He's great at Sonic too.
Uh,
So I mean, he could.
He's great at what?
Sonic. He's great in those.
I don't
movies.
know what
He's
that
the
means.
voice of Sonic.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Oh fuck you. God, you are the worst when it comes to something that isn't in your.
Oh,
niche.
late stage capitalism. Let's just suck each other's bowels and make money doing it. Off panel, off topic with Jake and Tyler.